Stock up, stock down. Who is trending in the right and wrong direction? We'll tell you here on this edition of Seahawks Today as your Seattle Seahawks come in off of a big-time win against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now they're back to 500, right in the thick of the playoff picture. More to come in just a moment. Before we do, Sunday, you know how things roll around here on Seahawks Today. We spam S in the chat for that Seahawks win. Everybody gets fired up. It's a rallying cry. And so here's what I want you to do right now. Stop whatever you're doing and just spam S in that comment section as a warm-up for Sunday. Let me know how excited you are. You want that Seahawks win? You believe in this Seahawks team? Spam S in the chat right now for that Seahawks win, and we'll get started with today's show. Stock up. Let's begin with Kenneth Walker, the Seahawks running back who played very well on Monday night against the Philadelphia Eagles. And for me, it was more than just about Kenneth Walker. I thought it reflected well on the offensive line. That was the best the O-line's played all season, as far as I'm concerned. Even with, Drew Lock taking snaps and having to protect a different quarterback and the adjustments that requires and everything, the offensive line stepped up. But Kenneth Walker looked very good, not just as a rusher, but as a receiver as well. And Kenneth Walker still with a chance, with 3 games left, to get to 1,000 yards on the season here. For me, as I have said many, many times before, even this week on this very program, that when the Seahawks run the football well, they win. It's that simple. Kenneth Walker is your best running back, and they need to continue to feed Kenneth Walker. Go back to your identity. You're a run-first football team. Use Kenneth Walker to your strengths, and watch out. You'll be in good shape. Stock down. This one's pretty obvious for everybody. Jamal Adams. Woof. This season has been bad for Jamal Adams. No one is going to beat the bush around that. This has been the worst season of his career. And I'm going to be frank. If I'm the Seahawks, I would seriously consider cutting ties with Jamal Adams right now and shut him down for the rest of the season. Because all the smoke, right? You know, you kind of point to things and you can figure out what's going on. We hear the reports a couple days ago that he was a healthy scratch and he wasn't at the stadium and he wasn't around the team. And then we know about his performance, how much he struggled, how bad he's been. We saw him get in the fight with the Jets reporter on social media and attack that guy's wife a couple of weeks ago and all that. Everything's just been bad for Jamal Adams. He has been a liability. There's been way more bad than good. It's not cheap. I mean, you're looking at $20 million over the next 2 seasons. And the way Seattle played on Monday without him, how much better they looked, and how well Julian Love stepped up. Even if Jamal Adams is healthy, I don't think there's a reason to play Jamal Adams right now. I would sit him on the bench, and I would let the other guys step in and do their thing. Because Jamal Adams, he ain't it. He very well might have played his last game with the Seahawks. Is it time to move on from Jamal Adams? Type HY for hell yes. Type HN for hell no. What do you think of Jamal Adams? I've made my point very, very clear. Now you get to make your point with our pinned comment today. Let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time, the place to go for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more. The best seats for the lowest prices. Guaranteed. Here's how it works. Let's say you chose a Seahawk game. You then select the prices. And from there, you get to choose your seat. Now, you might have a flash deal pop up that you can't deny that you say, I got to have that seat. You get the visuals, see if you like the seat or not, if it's for you. Then within moments, you're checking out on Game Time, and you're getting your tickets. Whether it's on Apple Pay, Google Pay, it's very easy to use, and you can have them instantaneously. You can decide on a whim, you know what? Yeah, I do want to go to that Seahawks game. I do want to go to that Shane Gillis comedy show. I don't know, whatever you're feeling. Game Time's got you covered. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Promo code SeahawksChat, $20 off. It is a deal that we are offering here on Seahawks Today as a Christmas present to you. $20. Save some money. Do it, please. Download Game Time Today. Link in the comments and description of today's video. Proud partner of Seahawks Today. Stock up, Drew Lock. It would be wrong for us to do this segment and not mention Drew Lock and what he's done with this Seahawks team and how well he played on Monday night. And here's the thing. Drew Lock, I loved his approach of what we saw on Monday where he wasn't doing anything that he wasn't supposed to do, right? He did not go rogue. He managed the game for 3.5 quarters, and then he made the necessary throws that he had to make in the fourth quarter. If Drew Lock played like he did on Monday in the first couple of years of his NFL career, he'd still be a starter right now, if we're going to be frank. To me, that showed a lot of confidence, a lot of poise. If that's the version of Drew Lock that you have to be your backup quarterback, if that's who he is, who we saw on Monday, he could be my backup quarterback for the next 10 years, and I'd be happy. If that version is real, if it's here to stay, I'd be more than okay with that. I thought it was a big night for Drew Lock. I was happy for him. How could you not be? How could you not be romantic about football and what we saw from Drew Lock? To me, more of that going forward. Stock down, Boye Mafe. I love Boye Mafe. You guys know that. You've been watching this show. I was hyped just a couple years ago when he got drafted, and here we are. He had a fantastic start to this season. Looked like one of, if not the best players on this defense with 7 straight sacks. But where the hell did he go? He just disappeared, just wandered out of the room, hasn't come back. We have not seen the same player that we saw earlier this year with Boye Mafe. And as we head towards the postseason, as the Seahawks are trying to make this run to make the playoffs, this team needs that version of Boye back. We need the guy that had 7 sacks in 7 games. I mean, and it's not even just the sacks. His numbers all around have been down the last few weeks. So, Boye, please, wake up. Let's get back to those ways and really just crank it up a notch as we get to this home stretch. We know he's capable. We know what he can do. Now it's just got to get back to it. I've mentioned a couple of guys that have their stock down. I got one more to get to in just a moment. Who's been the most disappointing player for the Seahawks this year? You can be real with me here for a second. Who's caught your eye that has not done what they were supposed to do? There's a hint. There's some very obvious answers to this. What do you think? Name them in that comment section. Let me know. Stock up. Got to talk about Julian Love. Man, I loved what I saw from Julian Love. No pun intended. Julian Love was fantastic. And remember, he got off kind of to a rough start to this season. He was kind of out of place. He really wasn't on the same page, couldn't figure out his role with this Seahawks defense. And now he's come into his own, and he's shown his ability to not just perform at a high level, but lead this defense. And his attitude, everything about it, has been awesome to see for Julian Love. And now we're talking about a guy that's got 4 interceptions, 2 in the last game. I got to tell you, him out there, not Jamal Adams, night and day difference. I'm excited for Julian Love, and hopefully there's more of this to stay. But to me, just as the years gone along and everything, it's a step in the right direction for Julian Love, and certainly excited for him and what he's done this season. Hopefully some more good memories to come here in the coming weeks. Name a breakout player for the Seahawks this season. Who is somebody that caught your eye that maybe you weren't expecting or took a huge step forward? We've talked about a couple on today's show. Get in that comment section. Let me know who comes to mind that's been that breakout for Seattle. Last one on stock down. Got to talk offensive line, rookie Anthony Bradford. We mentioned earlier when talking about Kenneth Walker how well the offensive line played with maybe their best performance of the year in that win against Philadelphia. But let's be real about Anthony Bradford for a second, okay? He is, statistically speaking, go to PFF, go look these numbers up for yourself if you don't believe me, one of the worst pass blockers in the entire league. And he was struggling there on Monday night. It has me concerned as far as his future goes beyond this year, if he should be the full-time starter, because the direction this is headed is Anthony Bradford, in all likelihood, is going to have that job full-time in 2024. And I know that he hasn't allowed a sack, but that doesn't tell the full story here. Anthony Bradford is struggling. The interior of that offensive line, not so great there with Anthony Bradford. If I'm Seattle and I'm looking to this draft, I'm at least bringing in somebody to compete with Anthony Bradford at the very, very least, if not somebody to take his job as far as that goes. Thanks for watching this edition of Seahawks Today. Don't forget, spam S for your Seattle Seahawks. Show them some love, and we'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.